Hi, how we doing? My name is Charles. I'm with Liquid-H Media. Here recently I put up a blog just so I could kind of talk about some of the things that I found interesting going on in the world around us. And I have put myself on kind of like a mission because I want to get in front of the camera as much as possible. I want to clear up that little uneasiness feeling. So I'm trying to make videos. I've been kind of slacking here recently because I've had my mind focused in a different direction, but I'm trying to get back on track here. So what I wanted to do this video on is a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. And I ran across the seminar he did on The Science of Getting Rich, which is a book that was written back in the early 1900s, I believe. Basically what he was trying to shed light on is the fact that, you know, anything that you want to manifest in your life, it all starts inside you. I don't know if you've watched the movie The Secret, which is, it had Bob Proctor in there too, but they were talking about the law of attraction, which essentially was saying that, you know, if you're constantly dwelling on something, that's all your life is going to turn out to be. If you're in debt all the time, or you're in a bad relationship, or you're just constantly feeding yourself negative information or negative energy, you're never going to progress in life because that's all you're going to be surrounded by. One of the examples they used in the movie The Secret is, you wake up in the morning, you kick the side of the dresser, and the rest of the day it just goes downhill from there. It's important that we remove ourselves from all this negativity that's going on. If you look in the news, there's all this stuff about Obama, there's all this stuff about World War III might be happening, or all this GMO stuff going on. Yes, it's important that we bring this stuff to people's attention, so we do bring light of the situation, but you don't need to live in that. You could really find yourself in a bad place, much like I did, because I was one of those people. Facebook, every post I could find, sharing it. Everybody needs to pay attention to this. But what I found is that I was sticking myself into that position to the point where I was starting to scare people around me. That's not what my intention was. I didn't want to freak everyone out. I didn't want to freak myself out, which I ultimately led into doing. But we can't focus on that to the point where that takes over us, because that's the energy we're going to give off to the people around us. If you hate your job, if you constantly have bad days at work, when you come home, if you're in a bad attitude, if you're angry, or whatever, your kids aren't going to want to spend that much time with you because you're going to be irritable. You're going to be loud and you're going to be yelling, and it's just going to cause for a bad environment inside your house. Same thing in your personal life, as far as being, with your friends. If you got a bad attitude and you're always bitching and crying about everything, well, nobody's going to want to hang out with you. But this goes back into the law of attraction, because if you're feeding yourself that negative energy over and over and over and over again, that's all it's going to develop inside your life. If you want to be successful, if you want that fancy car, you got to think and want it enough inside you, and the universe will give it to you. Now, that's not to say you close your eyes, wish upon a star, and poof, there it is. Don't take it in that sense. But if you're in the direction of, say you want that fancy sports car, like a Corvette or a Ferrari or something, if you don't think about it, if you don't want it bad enough, it'll never come to, you'll never have it, simply because you'll never take that step or those steps to put yourself in a position where you can obtain that. A lot of people, I know, just like me growing up, you're not going to be successful, you're going to turn out just like your dad or your mom, or everybody wants to throw on all these bad thoughts from you from the time you come out of the womb. And that ultimately shapes you as who you are growing up, because you're constantly going to be stuck in this mindset that, I'll never be successful, or I'll never make money, or I'll never find my true love, or I'll never have kids, I'll never be healthy, if you're constantly in that, oh, I won't be, or I can't have, or I'll never be able to do, you're just continuously filling yourself full of negative energy. Nothing will come of that, other than the fact that you're going to stay in the same miserable shape that you are always in, because that's the only place you put yourself in. Once you start believing in something, start wanting something to the point to where you take action, you will be able to produce what you think inside here. It all starts inside your mind. Quantum physics, quantum science in general, they all talk about how, like your arm, if you get down to the microscopic level, it's not solid, but my mind sees this, and this is what it's perceived as. Everything that's going on around you is what your mind perceives. That doesn't mean things just disappear because you don't perceive it happening at that moment. I'm inside my house right now. That doesn't mean everything on the outside of the house disappears and stops happening until I walk outside the door. But you don't know what's going on out there because you're not able to see, taste, feel, smell, hear. You're not able to experience it, so it doesn't populate into existence because your sensories of your body can't manifest it from any signals or energies that it's receiving. Got a little too technical on that. But, if you really want things to change in your life, you got to start with yourself. If you want to be happy in a relationship, if you want to find your soulmate, if you want to be, your marriage to work, you've got to be happy with you. If you're not happy with you, nobody else is going to be happy with you, because you're going to continuously give off a negative attitude, negative feelings and emotions that people are just not going to be drawn towards. So, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to be rich, if you want to have a family, if you want to have that perfect spouse, you got to work on making yourself perfect. You got to work on making that feeling of being successful, of having that nice car, having that big house. You got to start producing those feelings inside yourself, because that'll kick yourself in the butt to make you take action to produce what you want. Focus on what you want. If you want that fancy car, cut it out of a magazine and stick it up everywhere you go. Constantly have your mind feeding on it. Constantly feel what it's like to have it. Racing around in it. Feeling the speed it produces. Inside your mind, if you close your eyes, you can put yourself in any position. You can be laid back in a chair, acting like you're driving a car. You can feel that inside your mind. Your mind doesn't know the difference. If you feel it inside you, you got the wind blowing through your hair, and if you feel the emotions inside you, your mind will produce exactly what you're feeling. It's like in the movie The Secret, there was a doctor who took Olympic athletes, wired them all up to all these sensors, and sat there and had them close their mind. And it was the runner that he was talking about that he used for an example, but he had them all tied up to wires and had him close his eyes, and he told him to run your race inside your mind. And he said, while that individual was sitting there visualizing inside his mind that he was doing that race at that moment, every single one of his muscles in his body that would fire off as if he was actually physically doing it was manifesting while he was sitting there in his chair with his eyes closed. So your mind can't really determine whether or not you're actually doing it or you're not. Your body will, obviously, because you won't feel the sensory inputs that you get from doing whatever action it is. But your mind can still make your body feel like it is happening, and it can go through its course. It's, just like health. If a lot of people run around here and they're constantly sick, they're constantly having some type of disease or issues going on with them that makes them unhealthy, it's because that's what they're continuously putting more stress on their bodies, to where that's the result that they get out of it. The placebo effect is a prime example there. Doctors give, out of a study, they'll give some patients the actual medicine, and they'll give the other patients a sugar pill. Nobody knows exactly what they're taking, but those people that took the sugar pill were able to correct inside their body whatever ailment they had just through using their mind. You know, your mind is very powerful. It can make or break you, make or break your success. It can make or break everything, because if you don't believe it up here, it will never happen. So, you know, what to lead from this is lead by example. You know, you're seeing all these bad things that's going on in politics and with wars and famine and GMOs and all this stuff going on with the weather and earthquakes and tornadoes. Oh, God help all those people in the Midwest. You know, we need to focus on what's important and not what bad. We need to focus on what's important, not focusing on the negative things that are going on in the world around us. You need to be an example to the people around you, because if people see that you yourself is being a better person, is being in a brighter mood, giving off that feeling of hey, this person's fun to be around. You know, if you're giving off a positive outlook on life, you're going to change the emotion of the people around you. Now, you can't physically change that person themselves, but, you know, if somebody's having a rough time, you can help them out. Now, you don't necessarily have to give them money, but, you know, if you show that somebody actually cares enough for that person, you can change the overall outlook of that person to the point where they'll actually start changing themselves, all because you showed interest in them. If you want to be successful, you need to drive success, but not only you, but you need to want to help other people. You want to make their lives better, because that's going to make you come a lot stronger, a lot feeling. Everybody's so worried about money. You know, once you start becoming successful, money's no longer an issue. You don't think about money. Money's not important anymore. But what is important is how happy you are. And I guarantee you, the more happiness you bring to the people around you, the more happiness you're going to develop within yourself. So, focus on your wants and desires. That's important, because you're never going to change yourself if you don't change yourself up here. You know, your mind's a wonderful thing. It's a very strong thing. So if you want to be successful, if you want to be rich, you need to visualize inside. You need to feel that emotion of actually accomplishing that and remembering that feeling every single day. And it'll keep you driving in that direction. It'll keep you wanting to continue being successful. Or, you know, the good feelings that you bring up, you're going to want to stay in that emotional mindset. You know, don't let negativity run your life. You know, there's negative and there's positive energies. Positive energies, you know, they're the ones that make you feel happy. They're the ones that make you feel alive. You know, everybody wants to feel alive. Nobody wants to feel like they're just a walking corpse just waiting to die. You know, it's like Bob Proctor said, you know, everybody does everything they can to tiptoe through life just so they can die safely. You know, you got to enjoy life. You got to experience it. Get one bite of the apple. You know, savor that taste. Want for more. Stop living safe. I'm not telling you to go out there and go act a fool and go do stupid crap, but, you know, take control of your life. If you want to be successful, be successful. Don't depend on anybody else to do that for you. You know, if you want something bad enough, you will find a way to do it. With that, I'll leave you. If you found any of this interesting, pass it along, like and share. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right? Take care.